My name is Yair Cohen. I am 13 years old and I live in Haifa, a city that seems to have been hand-designed by someone who loves the sea. Here, the Mediterranean shimmers as if it holds promise, and the Baha'i Gardens climb Mount Carmel so elegantly that they seem to touch the sky. It is the kind of place where, even when everything is quiet, it feels like something important is about to happen. My routine is simple, almost predictable. School in the morning, homework in the afternoon, soccer whenever possible. Soccer is my refuge. Nothing compares to the feeling of running around our makeshift field, with the ground half cracked, dust in the air, and the sound of laughter mixed with the rustling of the wind. Each match feels like a World Cup final. I dribble, run, throw myself into plays, as if the whole world depended on me scoring a goal. My dad, Avi, spends most of his day buried in screens and cable. He works as a computer repairman at a tech company and talks to the machines as if they were people, complaining about bugs, deadlines, and servers that decide to die at the worst possible time. My mom, Noah, works as a nurse at a downtown hospital. She always comes home exhausted, with a distant look in her eyes, but she still finds the energy to smile when she says goodnight to my little sister. Lyra is 10 years old and has an annoying knack for showing up just when I'm trying to hide a bag of cookies. She's always asking me questions like, Yair, why does the ocean change color? Or do clouds? No, they're floating. I'll answer anything just to get her to stop, like it's God's paintbrush, and she'll let me believe it or pretend to believe it. We're Jewish, but not the kind of Jewish who goes to synagogue every week. In fact, Passover here at home is less about rituals and more about my mother's matzah soup, which no one makes better. My father only sets foot in synagogue when Grandma calls 3 times, saying that he's going to forget God if he doesn't get his act together. As for me, I don't think much about God. I think about soccer, about goals, about feints, about doing the impossible with a ball at my feet. But lately, Haifa seems to have shed its skin. The sky is still blue, the sea is still sparkling, but there's something different in the air. It's not just the heat and summer here. It's a weight, a strange silence, as if the entire city is holding its breath. The TV in the living room is never turned off. My father's radio, which usually plays classical music or technology news, now only talks about war, threats from Iran, missiles, drones, Hezbollah in the north, Hamas in Gaza. They say Israel has hit nuclear facilities in Iran. Now everyone's waiting to see what comes next, like someone looking at the horizon, knowing a storm is coming. At school, teachers whisper more than they teach. My friend Eli's father, who serves in the military, hasn't been home in weeks. His mother looks pale, even with lipstick on. My mother works double shifts at the hospital and comes home even more tired. My father barely lets go of his phone, as if it will tell him when the world is about to fall. Stay close, Yair, he repeats, his tone dry, his eyes tired. It's not safe out there, but I'm stubborn. And that Friday, with the sun streaming gold across the buildings and the countryside calling my name, I knew I couldn't stay still. Dad was too focused on fighting a rebellious server. Mom was still in the hospital. And Lyra. Well, Lyra was sprawled on the couch watching a crappy cartoon about talking fish. Yeah, play with me, she asked, her eyes shining. I gave a half smile, all ready with the ball. And later, little brat, now I have a game to win. I barely got to the door when my father looked over his glasses. Yeah, I told you not to go out. Things are bad. Iran said they were going to retaliate. Hezbollah has drones in the north. Drone, here. I laughed, spinning the ball on my finger. Dad, this is Haifa, not a military base. He didn't laugh. His eyes were hard. Stay home. I'm serious. I nodded in agreement and waited for him to return to his computer. As soon as he was distracted, I walked out the door, my sneakers squeaking on the hot asphalt, my heart beating fast, not just from the adrenaline of escaping, but because I needed to breathe. I needed to run. The field was just a few blocks from home, past Mr. Levy's store, which sold the best mint popsicles, and the cafe where Arab teenagers played music too loud. This is the true spirit of Haifa, a vibrant mix of voices and smells, of Jews, Arabs, Christians, and Druze living side by side, like my mother's shakshuka messy, hot but delicious. When I arrived, my friends were already there. Eli, who swears he's going to be the next Messi. Samira Druze, who has a shot with his left foot, that seems like magic. And Miriam, a Christian, our wall. in defense. She doesn't play like a girl. She plays like a tank with wings. Finally! Yair! Eli shouted, throwing the ball. I dodged it with a wide smile. I had to escape my father's prison, Miriam laughed. Her cross necklace swung in the sunlight. My mother is the same. I swear, she thinks I'll explode if I step outside. Let's play soon, Samir said, tying his shoe before the world ended. We quickly divided ourselves, Samir and I against Eli and Miriam. The field was crooked, full of holes, but it was ours. The sea in the distance seemed to laugh at us, and Mount Carmel watched us, imposing like a silent witness to our childhood. We ran, we screamed, we fought for the ball as if nothing else existed. I stole the ball from Eli, faked to the left, and kicked it hard toward the boxers that were acting as goalposts. For a moment, everything disappeared. The fear, the news, the drones, the uncertain future. There was only the game. And the four of us, and the sun still insisting on shining, as if to say, today, you are still children. When he says my name, it's like something inside me, something I didn't even know, it suddenly opens up. It wasn't just the sound, it was the way he said Yair, with a gentleness that breaks me apart, like he's known me since before I was born. Like he was there when I scored my first goal, when I fought with Lyra, when I hid behind the door, listening to my parents argue quietly so as not to wake us. It was like he'd been there the whole time. But still, my heart struggles. I am Jewish. My grandmother lights candles on Shabbat. My grandfather fought in the Yom Kippur War. I grew up hearing stories of Moses, David, and Esther. Jesus, that's the guy with the crosses in churches. From other people's Easters. From the snowy Christmases we only see in movies. I take another step back. The silver grass sways beneath me as if to whisper. It's okay. You can question it. And he stands there, calm, as if he understands every bit of money. You're not here to betray anything, Yair, he says. His voice doesn't sound confrontation. It's like when my mother holds my hand when I have a fever. You're here to remember. To see what was always beyond what the eye could see. I shiver. But why me? I just wanted to play soccer. I just wanted to score a goal. Not, die. The words come out in a weak whisper and I realize how broken I am, even here. He walks closer, and now I can see that his face is both young and old at the same time. Like someone who has laughed and cried 1 billion times. He crouches down in front of me, getting to my level. You're not dead yet. Not completely. You're between heartbeat, between one breath and the next. And what happens here is up to you. I feel a tightness in my chest, but it's different from the one on the field. This one is more emotional. Like when Lyra got hurt and I was desperate, thinking it was my fault. Like when my mother held me tight, even though she was tired, just because I had a nightmare. I look around. The sky sings. The stars tremble like notes of a song that only the heart understands. Deep down, the sea that I saw from above still shines, small now, like a memory inside me. You know me? Even if you don't want to admit it, standing up slowly. And I've always known you. The words hit me hard. I can't answer. I just stand there, staring at the shimmer of the robe, at the eyes that seem to contain the sound of my friends' voices, of Lara's laughter, of the whisper of the trees in the Baja Gardens. And then, for the first time, I let the question out. What if? What if I want to go back? He doesn't answer right away. He closes his eyes for a second, as if listening to something deeper. Then, he gives a calm smile. The world needs hearts like yours, feet that run for joy, voices that shout goal even when fear wants to silence it. But there's something I need to show you first. The field changes. Suddenly, I am somewhat else, as if we have stepped forward centuries. I'm in the middle of an ancient city, with cobblestone streets, the smell of fresh bread and dust. Men in robes chatter, women carry jars. And in the center, he's still Yeshua, but now one among many. He is helping a fallen woman to her feet, washing a stranger's feet, laughing with children who remind me. The people around him look at him as if he were just another person. But I know, he is light hidden in flesh. And for an instant, I understand everything. I understand that faith has no borders, that love is not limited to one people, and that maybe, just maybe, God paints with more colors than I was taught. I'm back on the silver field in a flash. He's standing before me again. You don't have to choose now, Yair, a peace washing over. But remember what you saw. When you wake up, take it with you. And when you run for something bigger than a goal. The light grows around. I know what's coming. It's time to decide. I feel my body pulling me back, like a rubber band being released. The sound of my friends' voices explodes around me. The dust, the pain, the heat, the weight of the real world. But something changed. My eyes open. Miriam is crying, clutching my hand. Samir is holding his cell phone with the ambulance number on the screen. Eli, kneeling beside me, whispers my name in fear. "Yaya," he says, "are you listening to me?" And I am. I feel the ground beneath me. I feel the field, the wind, the smell of dry grass. But also feel something else, something inside me, as if the light were still there, shining silently, waiting. I take a deep breath. The air returns. Life returns. And along with it, a gentle certainty. Nothing will be the same from now on. His voice resounded like it contained thunder, firm, serene, but with a strength that seemed to come from within the rocks, the sea, and the stars at the same time. "I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The promise I made to Abraham remains, and I keep my word." Those words hit me like a warm wave, full of truth. I knew them, though barely. There were phrases from the Torah, from Genesis, the kind my grandmother would read aloud at Passover, as the smell of matzah soup wafted through the house. I had never paid much attention. I found them boring. But now it was as if each syllable was carved into my chest, as if they had always been a part of me. I chose Israel. He continued to be a sign of my love among the nations. "You belong to me, and I have brought you here to see." I tried to answer. I wanted to say something, but the words escaped me. I was just a boy dribbling balls on a dusty field, making up answers curious. I was not Moses, or David, or a rabbi, but his eyes were fixed on me, and there was something in them, more than fire. It was like looking at the bottom of the sea dark, deep, endless, as if he saw all my faults, all my little lies, all the times I had disobeyed my father. But he didn't look at me with judgment. He looked at me with love. "Come," he said, extending his hand. I hesitated just for a second. Then I touched his fingers. They were warm, and as soon as our hands met, the field disappeared. Suddenly, we were somewhere else. Huge hole made of polished stone, with tall columns like towers, and a ceiling that shone with a gold so intense it looked like the sun itself had been poured down upon. There was a throne in the center, imposing. Sitting on it was a stern-looking man, crowned with the presence of a king, but he was not cruel. It was the kind of sternness that carries wisdom. "This is ancient Persia." Yeshua said, "What you now call Iran." My heart skipped a beat. I knew this. It was the story of Purim, the only holiday I ever really liked because it had Hamantash and those sweet cookies my mother made so well. And because the story was good, a bravi queen, a villain defeated, a people saved. "That's King Xerxes," he pointed. And there she was, a young woman, beautiful, but with a gaze that could cut through iron. "Esther," he spoke with a firm voice. And I watched the scene unfold like a movie. Haman's plan to destroy the Jews. The risk Esther took by coming forward. The moment when destiny changed because of a single courageous voice. "Persia has always tested my people," Yeshua said, with sadness in his eyes. "From Haman until today. The pride of the Persian kings has always risen against my promise." The scene dissolved. Now we were in a dark, damp cave, with cold stones, smell of wet earth. In the center, a man knelt in prayer. Huge lions lounged around him like house cats. Daniel, Yeshua said, he saw the future. He saw what Persia would become. He dreamed of kings and wars, of a time when my people would be surrounded again. The words were heavy. I felt the story pressing against my chest like a stone. Yeshua then looked straight into my eyes with a seriousness that pierced me. My prophet Ezekiel also spoke of this time. He wrote, "Gog from the land of Magog, with Persia and other nations, will come against my land." I didn't know who Gog was, or where Magog was, but I felt a chill, as if these words were being written over me at that moment. The cave disappeared. Now, it was the world of today, modern Iran. I saw cities teeming with people, black flags, angry crowds chanting death to Israel. I saw underground bunkers filled with missiles. I saw secret meetings with men in suits, pointing at maps, planning something terrible. The heart of Persia remains the Semiyishwa. They want to erase what I have chosen. But I am Israel's shield. I felt dizzy. My mind raced between ancient kings, prophets, modern missiles, crowds, and threats. It was too much. I was just a kid. But why me? I whispered. I don't even like going to synagogue. Yeshua laughed, and his laughter was not mocking. It was sweet. It was like hearing the waves of Haifa crashing against the rocks at dusk. I choose the weak to show my strength. It is in you that I want to place my word. He touched my shoulder, and his touch wasn't just physical. It was something more, a warmth that filled me completely, as if I had been immersed in pure love. It was my mother's hug when I was afraid at night. My father's look of pride when I got a shot, right? Lara's laughter when she won a domino. All of this and more, much more, in a single gesture. I never wanted to leave there again, but it wasn't over yet. We returned to the silver field. Now there was a map floating in the air, shining as if it were made of glass and light. It was Israel, small, surrounded by shadows, but shining like a diamond amidst the chaos. This land, Yeshua said, is my heart. The promise made to Abraham still lives, and my love for Israel will never die. I saw Jerusalem, the Western Wall, with hundreds of people praying, their voices rising like incense. He looked at the city with tender sadness. I cry for them because they are mine. And even when they forget me, I never abandon them. Then I saw Haifa, my city, the sea, the garden, the little field, everything there, like a living painting. Yeshua looked and said, "Every inch of this land is mine, and I will defend it." The map changed. Dark clouds gathered over Israel. Storms, thunder. I saw Iran again, but now with other flags. Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, even Egypt. They were like wolves surrounding their prey. They want my city. They want to take Jerusalem, erase my name, replace it, call it out. But this battle, it's not just political, it's spiritual, it's ancient. He took a deep breath. His eyes were filled with fire. All this was predicted, and I felt more than understood that something huge would. Psalm 83 says, Yeshua's voice echoes deep and serene. They conspire together against your people. They plot against those who belong to you. They say, "Come, let us destroy this nation so that the name of Israel will be remembered no more." Those words fall over me like a silent storm. They're not just old words. They're alive, pulsing, almost painful. And in the same instant, I realize that I'm not physically. I don't have a body here, at least not like I used to. But something inside me is shaking, as if my soul is shaking. But I am there, God. The strength in his voice contrasting with the tenderness. Why me? I ask again, feeling the question tearing from the depths of my being. Why are you showing me all this? I'm just a kid. I barely know what Isaiah or Ezekiel is. I just wanted to play ball. Yeshua then kneels. He bows until his eyes are level with mine, and they're face to face with that unworldly radiance. He says with a calmness that cuts through the air, "Moses was tending sheep when I called him. David was just a boy who played the harp and tended goats. I choose the little ones to show that greatness does not come from them, but from me." He quotes Isaiah. Isaiah 49:6. His words come out like music. You will be a light to the nation, so that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth. Light me. I feel like anything but that. I feel like a mistake. A boy who disobeyed his father, ran away, passed out in the soccer game, died. Maybe I'm dead, or somewhere in between worlds. But even though I'm lost, I feel something in the way he looks at me. It's like he sees beyond who I am. Like he knows everything, and still says, "Yes, you will see more," he said, standing up, his robe shimmering around him like mist of sunlight. "And you will tell what you saw." The landscape changes again. Now we are on a dry hill, unlike the green of Mount Carmel. Below, the desert stretches as far as the eye can see, hard and broken, like soil that has known war. Before us, an American flag flaps in the wind. It's weathered, as if it's been through storms, but it still holds firm. Behind us, a man stands, his face familiar. I recognize him from the news, from my father's tasty remarks at the dinner table. "Hair disheveled, face," said Donald Trump. "He is not perfect," Yeshua says, his voice more restrained now. "He has flaws, like all men, but I have chosen him for this time, to stand by Israel when others turn their backs." I frown, confused. My dad always says he talks too much, that he only knows how to brag. My friends laugh at the things he posts. And ... Yeshua almost smiled. There is a glint of humor in his eye. "I use those whom the world despises to confound the wise." This man's heart is stubborn on behalf of my people, and he will not bow to the pressure of the world. Then I see Trump speaking to a crowd. The words are not clear, but the impact is visible. He speaks with force. Behind him I see warplanes. convoy, aid being sent. Missiles are raining down, but there is protection. Temporary, perhaps incomplete. But he is not the final answer, Yeshua continued. But he is a tool, a piece on the board. Tell my people to pray for those who stand with me. I agree, but my heart still wavers. Trump, seriously, nothing makes sense. But Yeshua's voice is like an anchor in the confusion. And, strange as it may seem, I believe him. The hill dissolved. We are back, field of light. The stars seem closer now, brighter, as if paying attention. Yeshua's face is grave. There is more. You must see the storm that will come, and the light that comes after. He raises his hand. But now there is no war. There is peace, real peace. In Jerusalem, see Jews with their tefillin, Christians with their hands raised, Muslims kneeling side by side, all at the western wall. The sound coming from them is not one of division. It is like music, like the cafes of Haifa, where voices overlap in different languages but create harmony. This is my promise as Yeshua, and his voice is like the breeze before sunset. After the darkness, the light will come, and the nations will know that I am one God. I feel something running down my face. Tears. Maybe, or maybe it's just this place that seems to make every part of me feel everything at once. But why do you love Israel so much? I asked, my voice almost getting lost. And he looks at me. And in that moment, it's not like a king looking at his people. It's like a father looking at his son. Israel is my heart, Yea. Through her, I show my faithfulness. And through her, I will bless the whole world. He quotes Romans 11, saying that all Israel will be saved. I don't understand exactly what that means, but it seems huge. Like a wave slowly approaching, but unstoppable. Tell my Peoples, the Jews, and those who follow me as the Messiah. Tell the Christians, they need to unite, not by force, but by love. For my love, I take a deep breath. But I am mired in doubt. But who will listen to me? I'm just a boy. My father will laugh. My friends will think I hit my head. Yeshua places his hand right over where my heart would. Some will mock. Some will listen. But my spirit will guide you. Yah, when the time is right, you will know, and you will not be alone. His touch is fire, but it doesn't hurt. It burns in a healing way. Like when your mother puts steam on your chest when you're sick. I feel fulfilled, like I now carry a piece of that field inside me. But then everything starts to go dark. The countryside starts to spin. The stars spin like whirlwinds of light. I feel a tug, as if invisible strings are pulling me back. Wait, I scream. Fear wells up. I don't want to go back. Yeshua, a sad kind. It is not your time yet, Yah. Your family needs you. Israel needs your voice. I want to scream to say that this is where, that it doesn't hurt there, that I belong here. But the pull gets stronger, and then the light disappears. Tell them, his voice echoes softly and firmly, like the last sound before complete silence. The light around us begins to fade, as if the sky is exhaling. I want to grab it, to hold on to this glow that surrounds me, but it fades between the fingers of my soul. Yeshua looks at me, and for a moment, I see sadness in his fiery eyes. Not that desperate sadness, it's deeper, as if he carries a love so great it hurts. I am coming soon, not to destroy, but to heal, to restore what has been broken. I love Israel, ... and I love you. And then, the warmth that had been enveloping me gives way to an unexpected pain. It's not physical, it's something deeper, like my heart is being squeezed from within. Like I'm being pulled between two worlds. The light dissolves, and as my eyes adjust, I realize I'm standing in a new place. The silvery field is... Now I stand on a barren hill, unlike Mount Carmel, with its greenery and the smell of salt from the sea. This place is dry, cracked, with the ground crumbling beneath my feet. It seems that each stone carries ancient memories, forgotten but still alive. Before me, the desert stretches like an ocean of still sand. Yeshua is with me, his white robe dancing, softly, even without the wind. He looks straight ahead, his face more serious than before, like that of a father about to deliver difficult news to his son. I follow his gaze, and even before I can see clearly, I know where we are looking to. But this is not the Jerusalem of school trips, nor the one in the calendar photos at Grandma. This city before me seems to breathe. Its stones shine golden, as if they were alive, as if every wall, every corner carried the memory of entire generations. Above it, however, thick clouds hang, like smoke from something that has not yet happened. They swirl in the sky as if waiting for an order to descend. Look, Yahir, Yeshua says, and just hearing my name makes my chest tighten. See what's coming? The clouds slowly part, like curtains opening on a theater stage. And what I see takes my breath away. Jerusalem is under siege. Not by tourists and food stalls, but by tanks, soldiers, helicopter, drones, streak across the sky like mechanical birds. Flags flutter around the city. I recognize them from news flashes and my father's heated discussions in the dining room. Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, even Saudi Arabia. What were just country names in geography class are now real threats, with guns pointed at the city where Yeshua walked, where the temple once stood. I see leaders in suits gathered around war table. Their expressions are cold, their fingers pointing at maps of Jerusalem, as if it were just territory, a prize to be won. They want my city, Yeshua says, his voice now thick with pain. They want to erase my name, turn it into Al-Quds, take it as a symbol, not as a home. The image is intensified. Crowds in the streets shout hateful words. I see banners being held up with slogans. I don't fully understand, but I recognize the tonit, the sound of a world that wants to silence the people I belong. It's like the roar of the waves in Haifa during a storm, but 1,000 times louder. It's already started. My voice sounding. Yeshua was prophesied. My prophet saw this day. He quotes a psalm something about destroying Israel so that the name of the Jewish people will be remembered no more. It's the kind of thing I used to ignore when Grandma read it at church services. But now, those words echo inside me as if they were alive, as if they were written for this very moment. The vision changes. From the sky, I watch rockets fire from Lebanon. Hezbollah missiles streak through the air like fiery serpents. Drones buzz like angry bees, and tanks roar across the ground, cutting through dunes and hills. The Iranian flag looms like the shadow of a giant. I see a man on a screen, his eyes dark and his voice hoarse, promising to crush Israel. Behind him, mountainside, arsenal, and secret corridor. Team with plans that should not exist. Persia Lee, Yeshua said, and his words are like knives cutting through the air. She has always defied my promise. And then I see something that gives me a moment of hope. Fighter jets across like eagles defending their nest. The Iron Dome system springs into action, intercepting missiles like marbles thrown from the sky. Even with all its might, Israel seems overwhelmed. The world watches and walks away. Countries that once spoke out in our favor now say, Israel has gone too far. Why do they hate us so much? I ask, my voice cracking. Fear beginning to engulf. Why do they want to destroy what we are? Yeshua looks at me. Now his eyes are filled with something I didn't expect. It's not just sadness, it's unbreakable love. Like a mother who continues to love even after seeing her child make 1,000 mistakes. For you are my sign to the world, my living promise. My covenant with Abram still pulses in you. He reaches out his hand and the view changes. This is Iran. Modern, cold. I see bunkers under mountains, missiles lined up like chess pieces, and men in secret meetings with maps spread out on glass tables. Every detail seems more real than anything I have ever experienced. The pride of Persia blinds them, says Yeshua. They think they can break through what I have established. But I am Israel's shield. The view changes again. On this chimney I see a wall of fire surrounding Israel. It's not a literal wall. It's like a barrier of lights, of pure spiritual force. Many missiles hit it and disappear, but some pass through. And where they land, they leave destruction. Tel Aviv on fire. Jerusalem in tears. My heart tore whatever I have now clenches until it hurt. Will we lose? I whisper. Yeshua doesn't answer right away. He just watches me, as if waiting for me to understand something deeper, more essential. And then, in silence, I realize this is not just a war of bombs and flags. It is a spiritual one, an ancient battle, and we are at the center of it. Yeshua's hand rests on my shoulder, warm, firm, as if to say, without words, that I am not alone. No, Yah, his voice deep as the sound of yet dawn. Israel will stand, but for a time, she will stand alone. These words enter me like a cold, not cold on the outside, but on the inside, as if something has tightened my chest, I look at him searching for another kind of answer, a way out, but his gaze remains sure and sad. Even those who say they are with her will hesitate. Fear of the world's opinion will make many back away. The scene changes again, as if time were made of pages turning in a book. Now we are standing in a huge room with flags of countries I recognize hanging on the wall. The United States, England, France, Germany. Leaders sit in conferences, their voices muffled, their faces worried, their fingers drumming on glass tables. Television screens flash headlines. Israel condemned. UN demands ceasefire. Dangerous escalation in Middle East. It's as if the world has turned its eyes on us and suddenly decided that we are the villain of the story. But you say you're a shield, I say, my voice coming out in a near whisper. With an accusatory tone I didn't even realize until I heard my own. Yeshua doesn't take offense. He just nods slowly. I am. And I have also raised up others to be with you at this time. The ground of the hill disappears beneath our feet, and now we are somewhere else. The wind cuts through the air, strong, blowing through metal structure. We are standing on the wing of a military plane, large, solid, an iron giant cutting through the sky. High above, an American flag flies, torn at the edges, but straight, stubborn. Standing before her is a man I recognize instantly, even though I'd rather not. His hair is disheveled, his tie is askew. His face is as hard as stone. Trump, behind him, a crowd is shouting, anger, confusion, support, all at once. Their voices crash together like waves. I see the scene as if it were a news broadcast. Trump speaking loudly, banging his hand on the pulpit. Israel is our ally, and we will not let them fall. The crowd responds, some with applause, others with boos. But he doesn't back down. I'm confused. I look at Yeshua. Him, I ask, almost laughing. My dad always says he's a clown, that he only talks, but doesn't think. My friends laugh at the things he posts, the capital letters, outbursts, like he's always yelling ... Quotes Yeshua smiles with his eyes. It is not a smile of jokes, but of someone who sees deeper. I use the weak to confound the strong. This man ... is not holy, nor is he without fault. But his heart is stubborn for my people. When others turn away, he will stand with Israel. And I see that. Trump speaking against the tide, even when most say otherwise. American planes landing on Israeli soil, crates of weapons being unloaded. Financial support sustaining the shields that protect our cities. But then the picture widens, and it's not just about him anymore. I see people, ordinary people, diverse facets from different parts of the world, holding handwritten signs. We are with Israel. Others are kneeling, hands raised, praying. Some are crying, some are singing. They are in places I barely know. Texas, Lagos, São Paulo. Small churches with tin roofs, huge churches with white steeples. All united in one thing, intercession. Who are they? I ask. Yeshua's eyes soften, and his voice quotes the words I once heard vaguely in the synagogue, without ever really understanding. Psalm 122, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. He looks at me. These are my people, Christian, my followers grafted into the olive tree of Israel. They love what I love, and their prayers ... are an invisible shield. And now I see prayer is not just words floating in the air. It is strength. It is light, like a wall of fire around you. Not a physical wall, but something much more powerful. I see prayers rising like white smoke, enveloping, penetrating the heavens, and becoming part of the wall that protects Israel not by weapon, but by faith. My mind is spinning too much. Armies, missiles, politicians, churches, prophecies. I'm just a kid who ran away from home to play soccer. And now here I am, in the middle of it all. But why do I need to pray? I ask, my voice thin, almost like someone asking for help. Yeshua does not respond with. He simply extends his arm and points toward Jerusalem. The vision changes. The storm is gone. The city shines. Not with gold, but with something else, something eternal. The Western Wall is still there, but now it is surrounded by people, not just Jews, Christians, Muslims, men and women, children and elders, all praying together. Their voices blend together like the songs in the cafes of Haifa, different in tone, but forming a single melody. This is my promise, says Yeshua, after darkness ... And the nations will see that I am one God. My heart sinks. The beauty of the scene pierces through me. I want to cry, but I don't know if there are tears, or if I'm feeling everything at once. Longing, hope, and something else. ... Reverend. When? I ask. My voice is choked, as if the question came straight from the depths of my soul. Yeshua takes a deep. His gaze remains steady. Sooner than many think. But not without pain. The path is still narrow. The nations will test Israel, but I will restore her. And then he shows me a new figure. This is not the prime minister I see on the news, nor anyone I would recognize from billboards. It is an older man, sitting at a table with other leader. Papers are scattered about, maps of Jerusalem cut into pieces. I see his hand shaking. He's Farsi Pali lined with. He will face a choice, says Yeshua, between fear and faith. They will pressure him to divide my city in the name of peace. But there is no peace in dividing what I have made whole. And once again, I understand. The real war, ... is not just political, it is spiritual. Pray for him, Yeshua says, and his voice is like wind on still waters, soft, but impossible to ignore. He will need wisdom, as Solomon did in the days of old. My legs are shaking, but it's not my body that's shaking. It's whatever I am, pure soul, spirit, memory. I don't know, but I'm vibrating, oscillating between faith and fear. All of them. Jerusalem, Persia, armies, leaders, prayers, Trump, this man with broken maps in front of him. It's too big for me. But I'm just I say, and my voice cracks. The kid who runs away to play soccer, who doesn't even know the Torah, right? Who gets his prayer wrong. I take a step back, as if I can escape responsibility. I can't. No one will listen. My dad thinks this is crazy. My friends will laugh. They'll think I hit my head. Yeshua bends down again, bringing his face to mine. And when he looks at me, I feel something I can't explain. It's as if an entire ocean of love passes through me without me drowning. Some will scoff, Jahir, he says, calling my name as if he had known me forever. But some will listen. And you will plant seed. When the time comes, they will sprout. They will remember. Then he touches my chest, right in the center, where my heart would. And everything changes. It's fire, but it's also water. It's heat and coolness at the same time. As if something huge had entered me, yet it was always there. My spirit will guide you, he says. And though I don't know the exact verse, something inside me recognizes it's real. It's true. It's John. Something about a helper, a counselor. I won't be alone. The field begins to disappear. The hill, the desert, the clouds, everything dissolves into light, white, swirling, hot. And I feel the pull. Again, like invisible hands, dragging me away. No! I scream, or I think I scream. Panic takes over. Please, I want to stay. Everything makes sense here. Yeshua smiles, but it is a sad smile, full of love and farewell. Your family needs you. Yeah, Israel needs your voice. The light envelops me completely, as if I were being swallowed by silent thunder. But his voice remains like a whisper between the beats of my heart. Tell them I will come soon, not to judge, but to restore. Tell them I love Israel, and I love you. And then it all did. The warmth fades. The light, too. And all that's left is pain. Raw, sharp, like hot knives, piercing my chest. I fall back hard, but not to the ground, to my body. Everything is darkness and noise. Machines beep as if frightened. The smell is strong chemical, aggressive, something between blood and... There is noise all around. He's back. Someone shouts. Hands touch me, push me, press me. I feel the thick fabric of a stretcher, the weight of my body, as if I were being pushed into it by force. I'm in an ambulance. The ceiling is white, impersonal, hard. There's a mask on my face, pushing air that tastes of plastic and despair into... My chest hurts, badly, like something is tearing inside. I try to scream, but only a hoarse sound comes out of my throat, like sand scraping against glass. I see familiar faces through the haze of pain. Miriam, crying. Her crossed necklace swings around her neck as she leans over me. You're, my God, you're back. Her voice is shaky. Samir is there too, gripping the stretcher so tightly his knuckles are white. His eyes are wide, as if he's seeing a ghost. You scared us, man. Almost voiceless. Ila's in the background, silent, pale, looking at me like he's not sure if it's really me. A short-haired woman with a name tag that says Talia appears, pushing the three of them through efficiently. Give him space, she says, firmly, but not harshly. He needs air. My mind tries to process what she says. Your heart stopped for 5 minutes and 19 seconds. He continues. You're lucky to be here. Sort. I don't feel lucky. I feel like I've been plucked from the sky and thrown back into a heavy, noisy, confusing world. Like gravity is crushing me. I try to move. I can't. My left arm's banded. My chest throbs. Beneath my torn shirt, I see a new scar red, swollen, shaped like a crooked star. Where did this come from? I want to tell you everything. Over the silver field, about the desert in Jerusalem, about Yeshua and the armies, about Trump, about Christians, about the Spirit. But my mouth is dry and my lips don't move properly. I can only whisper one word. Yeshua. Miriam steps closer again, eyes wide. What did he say? Paramedics ahead. He's still in shock, but I'm not. It's not confusion. I saw him. I felt your hand on my chest. Your love like a wave passing through everything. I was there, but nobody listened. The noise of the ambulance swallows everything. The siren howls like a lament. The radio talks about Iran, Hezbollah, new attacks in the north, missiles, alarms. The world screams, and no one hears what matters. We arrived at the hospital, chaos. People running, doors open, crowded. They push me through cold corridors, while machines beep as if they were angry with me for coming back. I'm stuck between two worlds. One I saw, and another one that insists on keeping me away. Suddenly, my parents enter the room. My mother's face is wet with tears, her eyes red, as if she had been crying non-stop. My father is pale, with deep circles under his eyes that show he has slept badly. He looks like someone who carries a huge weight on his chest. A tiredness that is not just physical. Mommy grips my hand so tightly it almost... Her nurse's uniform is wrinkled, as if she'd rushed here straight from the hospital without a care in the world about her appearance. My baby, you're alive, she whispers breathlessly. Dad steps back a little, his glasses fogged up, his hands shaking as if he can't control himself. He approaches the doctor, a tall man with a clipboard, and asks in a heavy voice, "What happened to him?" The doctor, with a serious expression, replied, "We're not sure yet." His heart stopped for a few minutes. It could have been a rare arrhythmia or perhaps stress. "We're running tests." Dad closes his mouth tightly, his jaw tense, as if he's fighting the whole world because he almost lost me. Lara is there too, hiding behind my mother, her eyes huge and scared. She clutches her stuffed giraffe as if it can protect her from the pain that no one can explain. "Pierre, are you okay?" she whispers, her voice shaking. I try to nod in response, but the pain consumes me like I've been hit by a truck inside. When it's just us, the family, I try to speak. My voice comes out, hoarse, as if I've been screaming until I can't breathe. "Mom, Dad," I begin slowly, fighting the weakness. I saw something. When I died, my mother's hand freezes in mine, her fingers gripping mine in fear. Dad raises his eyebrows, as if I've just said something crazy. "You didn't die yet," he says, his voice rough, trying to sound firm. "You just passed out. The doctors managed to bring you back." I shake my head, a shiver. "No, I'm gone." He saw Jesus. The room is so silent I could have sworn I heard the sound of a heart beating against the wall. Lyra's eyes widen. "Jesus," like Miriam's. My mother's face softens, but my father begins to pace, the squeak of his sneakers echoing on the floor. "You hit your head or something?" "It was a dream, a hallucination. Lack of oxygen can do that to us," he says, trying to rationalize, but with a tone that doesn't hide his concern. I struggle to stand, even as the pain throbs. It wasn't a dream. He knew my name. He showed me things: Israel, Iran, Jerusalem, armies trying to take the city. He said Christians need to pray for us. I continue, and Dad stops in the middle of the room, his face turning red with anger or maybe fear. "Christians, we're Jews. We don't need their prayers. And Jesus, you'll look like one of those missionaries," he says, his voice hard. Mom touches his arm, asking him to calm down. "Avi, let him talk." I take a deep breath, the words pouring out of me like a river I can't contain. I tell him all the silver field, Yeshua's eyes full of fire and tenderness, the throne room where I saw Esther, the missiles from Iran, the flags of the Arab nations waving, Jerusalem under siege. I talk about Trump, how Yeshua said he chose to support Israel, even though it is not. I describe the scene at the Western Wall, with people from all over the world praying together, something I can't quite explain, but it felt so real. "I have to tell people," I say, my voice breaking at the end. "He said he'll be back soon and that he loves." Mom starts crying again, but this time they're soft. her hand still holding mine like it's the only thing holding the whole world together. Lyra climbs into bed and hugs me carefully, as if I were made of glass. "He was nice, wasn't he?" she asks, her voice sweet, trying to bring some normality. I nod, the lump in my throat tightening. "He was like family, like he'd known me forever." My father shakes his head, his hands buried in his pants pockets. "This doesn't make sense. You're stressed. We all are. Iran is threatening. Hezbollah is firing rockets. And you were playing soccer when I told you to stay home." His voice. Now I see. It's not just anger, it's fear. Fear that he almost lost his son. "I'm sorry, Dad," I say, and I really am. But I need to tell the world. The doctor comes back and says, Mom and Dad leave, Lyra following behind, and I'm left alone with the sound of the machines beeping. Smell of medicine, and that scar burning like it's alive. I close my eyes, and Yeshua's face appears to me, his words echoing, "My spirit will guide you." I don't know how to do this. I'm only 14. I'm not a rabbi or a prophet, but there's a fire burning inside me that I can't put out. A fire that seems to want to burst out of my bones, pushing me forward, even when I just want to go back to being a normal kid. The days in the hospital pass in a blur of tests, nurses, and medicine. They say my heart is stable now, but there could be a condition, something in the electrical signals in my chest. That's not. Stress could have triggered it all, the doctor's looking at my father with a mixture of concern and guilt. "You'll be home soon," he promises, "but know that you won't be the same." The star-shaped scar on my chest itches beneath the bandage. It's not just a mark. It's a constant reminder of what I've lived through. My friends come to visit me, invading my room with laughter, jokes, and a noise that makes me feel good. But I know that inside, something in me has changed forever. Eli's always been awkward when he doesn't know what to say. He approaches me a little shyly, looks at me, and finally says, "Are you okay, man?" and gently taps the ground with his foot, as if he's trying to hide his nervousness. Samir, who is taller and usually jokes around to ease the tension, appears laughing. "You died and came back." Right. That's something out of a movie. In the midst of all this confusion, my phone sits on a small table nearby, vibrating and flashing, and I finally gather the courage. I start slowly telling him everything from the soccer game I was playing when it all happened to the promise Yeshua gave me. If anyone is watching this, I say at the end, looking into the makeshift camera, "Pray for Israel. Yeshua loves this land and is coming back." I'm just a kid, but I saw it. I saw things no one should see. Going back to school was strain. Some kids avoided me as if I were a disease, something contagious. Others, too curious, surrounded me at lunch with suffocating questions. "Did you really die? And Jesus, was he nice to you?" Professor Kaplan, always kind but concerned, pulled me aside at one such moment. "Be careful your story. They mess with..." I nodded, understanding the warning, but I couldn't stop talking. Yeshua's words had stuck with me like a melody I couldn't get out of my head, playing over and over, driving me on. Then one day, Miriam Church invited me to speak. It was a small place, tucked away in an Arab neighborhood of Haifa, simple wooden pews, a weathered cross hanging on the wall, a modest space, but full of people, old, Arab, Jewish, all there to listen. I was nervous, my hands sweating, but I began to tell my story again. The people's response was incredible. Some wept silently, others nodded in understanding. The pastor, in a warm, steady voice, concluded, "Let us pray." I thanked him, feeling that same fire in my chest, Yeshua's presence still so alive, as if his hand were resting there with me. The hospital was behind me, but the scar on my chest, a jagdi stark into itch, burning whenever I touched it. It was as if it wanted to remind me of something I didn't yet fully understand. Now I am back in Haifa, looking at the sea shining silver in the sun, the Baha'i gardens rising up Mount Carmel, as if touching the sky. But nothing seems the same. I am not the same either. I am Yacoen, a 14-year-old boy who loves soccer, but also the one who died for 5 minutes and 19 seconds and saw Yeshua. His words burn inside me like a fire that will not be extinguished. As the Torah says about Jeremiah, I only know this because Miriam looked it up for me. "My spirit will guide you," Yeshua, and I lie. Staring at the ceiling and listening to my father's radio buzz about Iran and Hezbollah and wars that seem to be getting closer every day. My phone is going crazy. It buzzes all the time. Messages from people I've never met, Christians from America, Nigeria, Brazil, even places with names I can't even pronounce all, saying they're praying for Israel. "God bless you," writes one. "You are like Samuel, hearing the voice of God," says another. But there are also hateful messages, calling me a liar, a traitor to my own people. You're not Jewish if you talk about Jesus. Writes an angry guy. Even worse, because I am Jewish. On Friday nights, celebrating Shabbat with me. We ate my grandmother's geilafit. We sang Hatikva at school assembly zol. So normal, so familiar. But Yeshua is real, and I can't see him or hear his voice. I wish I could awaken that voice inside me that says, tell them I love Israel. I try, but it's difficult. The news is only getting worse. Iran's rockets are already getting closer. Not to Haifa yet, but to cities to the north, near the border. On TV, smoke rises on the horizon. Families run for shelter. Iran's leaders are on every channel. Their faces stony, promising to wipe Israel off the map. It's exactly as Yeshua showed me. Persia leading the charge. The flags of the Arab nations circling Jerusalem, like wolves circling their prey. My father is glued to the radio, muttering about air raid. Mom works double shifts at the hospital, coming home exhausted with deep shadows under her eyes. Lara is quieter now. She holds her stuffed giraffe tightly and asks in a hopeful voice, Yay, is everything going to be okay? I want to say yes. I want to believe that everything is going to be, but I see those dark clouds that Yeshua warned about forming on the horizon. So I hug her, squeezing her tight, and say, Yeshua is taking care of us. She believed. And I wish I could be sure of that too. But things begin to happen exactly as Yeshua. News emerges of secret meetings leaders from Iran, Lebanon, Syria, even Jordan, sitting together in some luxurious room, flags lined, just like in my vision. A reporter says they are discussing the future of Jerusalem. My stomach tightened, a knot that won't go away. Yeshua called it by name their plan to take the city, to make Jerusalem theirs. I see clips of protests, crowds chanting Free Al-Quds, with the same flags I saw in the desert. On my father's radio, we hear that Israeli fighter jets are bombing Hezbollah tunnels. But the world is going crazy, and I just hope we can survive all of this. Headlines scream from TV screens, from newspaper, from every corner of the city. The aggression condemned by UN. Strikes and protests take over. World condemns attacks. It is exactly as Yeshua had said. He said that even those who call themselves friends, who swear to support, can turn their backs. I feel this loneliness as a deep pain. Israel, in the eyes of the world, looks like a child alone on the playground, with no one to hold its hand, no one to support it when it falls. But through it all, Israel stands firm. She stands tall, even when it seems like the odds are stacked against her. Her flag waves defiantly, like a silent cry in the wind. And I begin to understand, really understand, what Yeshua meant when he said that Israel was Shosana, people marked to survive the storms that come, to endure even when all seems lost. At the same time, Christians are mobilizing more than ever. It's just as Yeshua showed me in my vision there, holding vigils, lighting candles, praying intensely for Israel. My inbox is full of messages, invitations to join in prayer, letters with words of hope and faith. In one, they quote Psalm 120:2-6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I looked up that verse, and word for word, it's exactly what Yeshua said to me. I am Ishtumi 14 years old, still Jewish, still lighting Shabbat candles on Friday night, still kicking the soccer ball when I can. But at the same time, something in me has changed forever. I believe that Yeshua is the Messiah, the one my people have waited for centuries. I believe that his love for Israel is fiercer than any rocket that threatens our skies, stronger than any army that tries to. I believe he is coming back, not just for us, but for the whole world, to right injustice, to bring the true peace that the human heart so desires. The doctors say my heart is fine now, but that I will need checkups forever, maybe forever. Every day I wake up, every breath I take is a gift from Yeshua, a second chance to tell this story that beats inside me. Today, I am no longer afraid. I am not afraid of the rockets that fall outside, nor of the hate messages I receive on the internet. I have seen what is beyond all of it. I have felt the love that created the stars, the universe spinning. And I know, with all certainty in my heart, that Yeshua knows my name. He knows the name of Israel, and he is waiting patiently and hopefully for me to continue telling this.